Thank you. Senator Cruz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to direct my questions to Mr. Bedoya. Mr. Bedoya, the Biden administration has nominated a number of extreme nominees, radicals who've advocated for abolishing the police, two of the senior officials currently at the Justice Department, a banking regulator who trained in the Soviet Union and advocates nationalizing the banks and wants to bankrupt thousands of businesses across America. And unfortunately, Mr. Bedoya, as I look at your record, you fall firmly in that line. I see the record of someone who has been a left-wing activist, a provocateur, a bomb thrower, and an extremist. So I want to take a minute to explore your views. You know, I took a look at Twitter. You've been very active on Twitter. Tell me, Mr. Bedoya, what are your views on ICE?
Thank you for that question, Senator. I have, as a law professor, called attention to what I see as Fourth Amendment violations in ICE's face recognition searches, and these are measures that have triggered bipartisan oversight by.
Okay, let's be clear. I'm not talking about the things you say when you're wearing a suit and tie, talking about Fourth Amendment violations. I'm talking about what you angrily tweet out to the world. I refer you to a tweet from February 26, 2021. It is time to call ICE what it is, an out-of-control domestic surveillance agency that peers into all of our lives. That's not just simply a comment about an abstract Fourth Amendment issue. And let's be clear, you also have, on April 10th, 2021, a tweet which is certainly not lacking in subtlety. It is a tweet that says, Maryland police have no business working with ICE. 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 So apparently you're calling on state law enforcement to refuse to cooperate in any way with federal immigration enforcement. How do you explain these tweets? Is that, are you with the more radical members of the squad in the House, and are you an advocate for abolishing ICE?
I am not, Senator. That last message was rhetoric. The bill that it was posted in support of was a bill to require the government to get a warrant before scanning 7 million Maryland drivers' faces, won the support of one of the most prominent Republicans in our Senate, Senator Christopher West. And so I have occasionally used rhetoric, sir, but I've worked with you and your staff when I was a staffer in 2013. The bill that I helped draft, the Help Separated Children Act, you co-sponsored as an amendment. And so I emphatically believe that if confirmed, I can and will work across the aisle, set aside my politics to help your constituents and those across the country. And
well, let's talk a little bit more rhetoric. Let's take a look at June 23rd, 2018, another tweet you sent. In this case, you're blasting a fellow Democrat. Decorum, directed at Steny Hoyer, the House Whip. Thousands of Latino kids still forcibly separated from their parents, some in cages, and you go on CNN to ask for decorum from members of the Hispanic caucus. You should apologize to those members and to the Latino community. So you're blasting not just ICE, not just federal law enforcement, but you're also blasting Democrats who are not sufficiently extreme to your liking when it comes to immigration. Is that right?
Senator, I think family separation was a horror. The kids at the border looked like my cousins. And
so you were really troubled by the kids in cages under President Trump?
And as I was troubled with what happened to children in certain circumstances under the prior administration.
Have you said one word about the kids in cages and the Joe Biden cages? The cages are bigger, they're more full. Have you said a word about it since it was a Democrat president putting kids in cages?
Senator, respectfully, I believe I have, in certain circumstances, criticized immigration policy under the current administration.
Have you said a word about the Biden cages, or is that rhetoric only directed at your political opponents?
I can't say whether I've used the word cages, but I do believe I've been critical of Democrats and Republicans alike, and I believe Democrats and Republicans.
You believe you've
have-
been critical of Democrats and Republicans alike. That's your sworn testimony today?
Yes, and I believe the message you referred to with respect to Leader Hoyer speaks to that.
All right, here's another one. You're retweeting Joyanne Reed, where she says, we're learning daily the ugly consequences of having had a white supremacist administration. Do you embrace the practice of the far left of blasting their political opponents as white supremacists? And do you think that kind of rhetoric is suitable for what is supposed to be a independent agency enforcing the law?
Senator, I don't recall sharing that. I don't believe the prior administration was a white supremacist administration. I've worked with Democrats and Republicans alike on the Senate Commerce Committee. Our research.
Okay, well, you retweeted it, and I'll enter the tweet in the record. And I'm going to ask about one final one, which is something else you retweeted, where it was actually, I gave a speech where I said critical race theory is bigoted, it is a lie, and it is every bit as racist as the Klansmen in white sheets. And you retweeted some fellow named John B. King with a gif of slamming the door. I take it you disagree with the proposition that critical race theory is bigoted. So tell us your views on critical race theory.
Senator, Secretary King's great-grandfather was enslaved in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and I believe his point was that that history should be taught in schools. I don't recall that specific message, but I don't know if I have a top-line view.
Do you agree with the propositions of critical race theory that America is fundamentally racist, that all white people are racist, that our institutions are irredeemably racist?
Senator, I do not believe all white people are racist. I haven't given great thought to critical race theory before this hearing, sir, but I emphatically do not think all white people are racist, and I can't recall the other provisions of your question, sir.
So, Madam Chair, I would ask unanimous consent that the tweets that I referred to be entered into
Without
the record.
objection. Senator Lujan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Rosenworcel, as I said in my opening statement, it's refreshing to finally be having a hearing as we're having a conversation about the importance of having a 5-member